Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're going to be tackling something that might not sound super glamorous, but is absolutely essential for any business trying to thrive in this digital age, and that is security.
Ooh, very important.
Specifically, we're going to be exploring the world of password management and its often underestimated impact on collaboration.
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head there.
Okay.
You wouldn't believe how many businesses,
Okay.
especially like small and mid-sized ones, pour all their energy into funding and perfecting their processes, but they just leave their security hanging by a thread.
Oh, wow.
It's like building this super high-tech, state-of-the-art car, but completely forgetting to install the brakes.
That's a great analogy.
Yeah.
So for this deep dive, we're going to be drawing insights from a really fascinating conversation between a podcast host and a seasoned Zoho expert.
Okay.
And this expert has been navigating the tech world for over 15 years, so they really know their stuff. Yeah, and one of the most striking points they made was this really common misconception that data breaches are only a problem for giant corporations.
Right.
The reality is that smaller companies, they're often hit even harder
They are.
because they don't have those resources to kind of bounce back as quickly.
Exactly.
So imagine, a breach costing a company with only, say, 50 employees, $25,000 per employee.
Wow.
That's over $1 million just gone in an instant.
Yeah, and that's just the immediate financial hit.
Right.
You also have to factor in things like the loss of customer trust,
Yeah.
the potential legal battles you're going to be facing, the damage to your brand reputation.
Yeah.
For a small business, that can be a death blow.
Yeah.
It's not just about data at that point. It's about survival.
Well, it's about your livelihood.
Exactly.
And so to that point, this expert also made a really compelling point about the return on investment for these early security measures. And they claimed that the return on investment could reach thousands of % when compared to the cost of cleaning up after a breach.
Yeah, it's like that old saying, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure.
Exactly.
Investing in security up front might seem like an extra expense.
Yeah. But it really pales in comparison to the potential fallout of a security disaster.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're saving yourself so much trouble down the line.
So then where do we even begin?
Right.
I mean, the conversation really highlighted how something as seemingly simple as passwords can make or break a business's security.
It's true.
I mean, it's such a small detail, but so important.
Yeah, we tend to think of passwords as this, really small, insignificant detail.
Right.
But they are so often the first line of defense against cyber attacks.
Yeah.
It's that first hurdle that they have to get over.
Well, and we've all been there, right?
Oh, yeah.
Like defaulting to password 123, or even worse.
Or QWERTY.
Yeah.
Because it's easy to remember.
Right.
Yeah, but that's exactly what makes them so dangerous.
Those kinds of weak passwords are practically an open invitation for hackers to come in and take what they want.
It's like leaving your front door wide open.
Exactly.
And it's not just about the passwords themselves.
Right.
Reusing the same password across multiple platforms is another huge risk. Because if one platform gets compromised, suddenly that single password unlocks access to a whole network of your business data.
It's like giving someone a master key to your entire digital life.
Right, exactly.
Scary to think about.
And then there's also the threat of phishing.
Oh, yeah.
Which seems to be getting more and more sophisticated these days.
Yeah, it's really hard to distinguish a phishing email from a legitimate message now.
Exactly.
They're very sneaky.
Yeah, all it takes is one unsuspecting click.
Yep.
And sensitive login information can fall right into the wrong hands.
And then they have everything.
And even when employees are trying to be cautious,
Yeah.
without clear company guidelines on password best practices, it's like navigating a minefield blindfolded.
You need that structure.
Right.
Those really clearly defined rules of the road to guide people and foster a culture of security within the company.
Exactly.
It's about empowering your team, not leaving them in the dark.
Yeah, because it's much better to be proactive than reactive.
Absolutely.
Okay, so we've painted this pretty stark picture of the problem.
It is a big problem.
But thankfully, our deep dive also revealed a really potential solution
Oh, good.
called Zoho Vault.
Okay.
And it seems like it's this perfect blend of having a security guard,
Okay.
a personal assistant,
Mm-hmm.
and a compliance officer all rolled into one neat little package.
Wow.
I mean, it really does sound like it addresses so many of the vulnerabilities we just talked about.
It does.
And, it seems like it actually streamlines collaboration at the same time.
Yeah, it's not just about locking everything down. It's about making security work for you,
Right.
making it something that actually helps you rather than hinders you.
Yeah. And that's what's so intriguing about it, is it really seems to flip the script on that whole idea of security being a hindrance to productivity.
Exactly.
So let's break down, how Zoho Vault actually tackles these challenges.
Okay.
The first thing that jumped out at me was this idea of centralized storage.
Ah, yes, that is a game changer,
I can imagine.
especially for teams that are juggling logins for multiple platforms.
Yeah.
Picture your marketing team constantly switching between Zoho Social, campaigns, CRM,
Mm-hmm.
instead of this chaotic scramble of shared spreadsheets,
Right.
emailed passwords,
Oh, gosh.
or even worse, sticky notes with sensitive information on them.
Oh, yeah. No, that's a big no-no.
Everything is neatly organized and securely stored in one central location.
Okay, so it's like having a digital key ring.
That's a great way to put it.
But instead of, clunky metal,
Yeah.
it's a sleek, secure platform that only unlocks the doors that you're actually authorized to open.
I like that.
Yeah.
Very visual.
And it gets even better. Because with Zoho Vault, you can actually grant access to specific tools without ever revealing the actual password.
That's handy.
Think about onboarding like a new intern.
Right.
They can get access to the necessary Zoho apps without compromising security.
Very important.
And that brings us to another really cool feature, the security dashboard.
Okay.
It acts like your own personal security coach, constantly reminding you about weak or outdated passwords.
I like that.
It's like having that little nudge saying, hey, maybe it's time to give that password a makeover.
Yeah, freshen things up.
And on a company-wide level, managers can enforce strong password requirements across the board,
Oh, that's good.
which really takes the guesswork out of password creation, and it ensures that baseline level of security for everyone.
Right. Everyone's on the same page.
It's like having a safety net for, those who might be tempted to use, password 123 just for the sake of convenience.
Right, because it's easy.
Exactly.
Yeah. And for those extra cautious folks out there, there's an added layer of protection with something called IP-based restriction.
Okay, what is that?
This feature only allows logins from trusted networks, like your office, or a secure VPN.
Okay, so it's like having a virtual bouncer at the door,
That's a good way to think about it.
only letting in, those who have the right credentials and are coming from the right place.
Yeah, you're not just letting anybody in.
Right, exactly. And so, we've been talking about building these walls.
Right.
But Zoho Vault actually seems to excel at facilitating collaboration as well,
It does.
which is kind of amazing.
Because you would think that those two things would be at odds with each other.
Right, like it has to be one or the other.
Yeah, security or collaboration.
Yeah.
But Zoho Vault really seems to do both.
And that's what's so cool about it. Zoho Vault goes beyond just managing those passwords.
Mm-hmm.
It integrates seamlessly with like the entire Zoho ecosystem.
Yeah, that's where it really shines.
Which is great.
You can think of it as a unified command center for your entire digital workspace.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Everything from Zoho Desk and projects to CRM and even WorkDrive is interconnected,
Mm-hmm.
making access management a breeze.
And the integration with Zoho Directory, I hear, is a lifesaver for admin tasks.
It is.
I mean, new employees automatically receive those correct Vault privileges.
Yeah.
And when someone leaves, revoking their access is as simple as a single click.
Exactly.
It's just so streamlined and efficient.
Yeah, it eliminates all those headaches of managing multiple user databases
Right.
or manually updating permissions every time someone joins or leaves the team.
Yeah, so convenient.
It really is.
So we've talked about the convenience, the collaboration, but let's not forget the core reason that we're here, and that is security.
Absolutely.
And it's not just about, telling everyone, create a strong password and hope for the best.
Right. Hope is not a strategy.
Exactly.
You need something more concrete than that.
And Zoho Vault really takes the guesswork out of it.
Yeah, it does.
It generates those super complex passwords,
Mhm.
stores them securely, and makes sure that you're not reusing them across platforms.
That's so important.
And think about all the time that you're saving.
Right?
By automating those tedious password-related tasks.
Oh, yeah.
No more scrambling to reset forgotten passwords or manually updating them every few months.
Nobody wants to do that.
Right? It's like having this dedicated assistant who handles all of your password chores.
That'd be nice.
Right, freeing up your time for more important tasks.
Exactly. You can focus on the things that really matter.
And for businesses who are worried about compliance, Zoho Vault has that covered too.
It does.
They've built in features like encryption,
Yes.
detailed audit logs, and even granular control over who can access what within the vault.
Very important.
It's like having a built-in compliance officer who's constantly making sure that you're ticking all the right boxes
Love that.
for those ever-evolving regulations like GDPR and SOC2.
Right, because those things are always changing.
Exactly. You have to stay on top of it.
Yeah, it can be tricky.
But what about bigger companies?
Oh, yeah.
Those with, hundreds or even thousands of employees. Can Zoho Vault handle that kind of scale?
Absolutely. They have features specifically designed for larger organizations,
Okay.
things like bulk user onboarding,
Okay.
which makes it easy to sync with systems like Active Directory. So adding a whole wave of new employees is quick and painless.
That makes sense.
And for companies where employees need access to a bunch of different applications, there's seamless integration with single sign-on solutions.
Oh, okay.
So it's like this one-stop shop for all your login needs,
Yeah.
but with that rock-solid security backing it up.
And what about admin controls?
Yeah, they've got centralized admin controls, so you can keep a close eye on everything.
Oh, okay.
And you can set mandatory password reset policies for everyone in the company.
It's like having a control tower overlooking your entire security landscape.
I like that analogy.
Yeah? Very cool.
Making sure that everyone's following the rules and staying safe.
Everybody's playing by the same rules. And when someone leaves the company, offboarding is just as easy.
Oh, yeah.
No more worrying about former employees having access to sensitive information.
Very important.
So it really does cater to businesses of all sizes.
It does.
From, those just starting out to those with like a global presence. But let's get back to that crucial question of why prioritize security early on.
Yeah, that's the million-dollar question.
What's the real return on investment for being proactive?
Right, because it does take time and effort.
Yeah, and money, potentially.
It does?
Well, remember that striking statistic that we mentioned earlier?
Oh, yeah, about the return on investment.
Yes.
Thousands of %.
Yeah, the potential ROI for early security measures could reach thousands of %.
Yeah.
Compared to the cost of dealing with an actual breach.
It's huge.
Yeah, that's not just a number, that's a potential lifeline for a business.
It is.
Especially, a smaller one.
Absolutely.
It's about shifting from that, reactive mindset of constantly cleaning up messes to a more proactive approach of preventing them in the first place.
I think that's a really important shift in thinking.
Yeah, absolutely.
Moving from being reactive to proactive.
And I love this example that they gave.
Okay.
Imagine a company that avoids this potentially devastating data breach just because they invested in Zoho Vault.
Yeah.
That's not just a cost saving, that's peace of mind.
Absolutely.
A stronger reputation and the freedom to focus on growth.
Right.
And they gave some great examples of, how Zoho Vault plays out in real-world scenarios.
Oh, I'd love to hear about those.
So picture a marketing specialist who needs to access Zoho Social.
Okay.
Instead of emailing passwords or sending them through insecure channels,
Right.
they simply access everything they need through Zoho Vault.
That makes sense.
So it's secure, it's trackable, and it eliminates that risk of sensitive information falling into the wrong hands.
Exactly.
Okay, what about this one?
Okay.
An IT manager is deploying a new server. Instead of scrambling to create and share passwords,
Right.
Zoho Vault automatically generates a strong, unique password,
Oh, that's handy.
stores it securely, and grants access only to the authorized DevOps team.
So no accidental access or security loopholes.
Exactly. It's like having a digital vault
I like that.
where you can store those critical keys and be certain that only the right people actually have access.
That's a great way to think about it.
It just simplifies those workflows
Yeah.
and significantly reduces that risk of human error,
Human error is a big one.
which is huge.
It is.
What about a salesperson who's switching to a different department?
Okay. Yeah, that happens.
Instead of, this tedious process of changing passwords for every single account,
Nobody wants to do that.
the admin can simply update their permissions within Zoho Vault.
That's much easier.
A few clicks and it's done.
Yeah.
Saving time and hassle.
And frustration.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's amazing how these seemingly small features can make such a big difference in both security and collaboration.
It really is.
It's not about creating obstacles. It's about simplifying processes and empowering teams to work together efficiently and securely.
Well said.
Thank you.
I think this brings us to a great point to kind of shift gears a bit.
Okay.
We've delved into the problem, explored the potential solutions,
Yeah.
but now let's zoom out and consider that bigger picture.
Okay.
What does proactive security actually mean for a business beyond just preventing those dreaded data breaches?
That's a great question. I think we often get so caught up in the technical aspects of security that we forget about the human element.
Yeah, it's about more than just, the tech and the tools. It's
Yes.
about people.
It is.
And I think proactive security, it's about building trust
Trust.
with your employees, your customers, your partners, everyone who interacts with your business.
Right. You're showing them that you take their data seriously. And you're doing everything you can to protect it.
It's not just about ticking boxes on a compliance checklist.
No, it's about building a culture of security
Yeah.
where everyone understands the importance of protecting sensitive information.
And that kind of trust can have a ripple effect, right?
It can.
It strengthens those relationships,
Right.
builds loyalty, and it creates this more resilient and sustainable business overall.
Absolutely.
So it's like investing in a strong foundation for your business.
That's a good way to put it.
It's not always the flashiest investment,
No, but it's essential
but it's essential.
for long-term stability and growth.
I'm thinking back to the source material,
Okay.
and that Zoho expert offered this really thought-provoking quote.
Okay.
They said, "Small efforts today can prevent big problems tomorrow."
Well, that's good.
And it really resonated with me.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a really powerful reminder that we don't have to implement this massive, complex security overhaul overnight.
You don't have to do it all at once.
Even small, consistent steps towards better security practices can make a huge difference.
It really can.
So, if you're listening to this and thinking about your own organization, what's one small action you can take this week
This week, yeah.
to improve your security posture?
Maybe it's having a conversation with your team about password best practices,
Okay.
or finally implementing that two-factor authentication that you've been putting off.
Oh, yeah. Good one.
Or maybe it's finally exploring a solution like Zoho Vault and seeing how it can benefit your specific needs.
I think that's a great takeaway for our listeners.
Yeah.
You don't have to be this tech expert to start making a difference in your organization's security.
Right.
Every small step counts.
Absolutely. And remember, knowledge is power.
It really is.
The more you understand about the potential risks and the solutions that are available,
Mm-hmm.
the better equipped you'll be to protect your business and build a more secure future.
Well said.
Thank you.
And on that note, we'll wrap up this deep dive into the world of Zoho Vault and business security.
It's been a good one.
We hope you found it informative and insightful.
We hope you learned a lot.
And we encourage you to, continue exploring this topic and asking questions.
Yeah, don't be afraid to ask questions.
Until next time, stay curious, stay informed, and stay secure.
Bye, everyone.